Hello everyone, welcome to our Ask Geology, a whole new way to understand our Mother Earth. In this today's 7-minute numerical, we'll discuss about our numerical related to porosity. Okay, porosity means I will include all the hydrogeological questions and porosity questions in one playlist. And as this blue banner indicates that it is actually a gate question. So the question is, this question number is 50. Okay, question number is 50 and it is asked in 2018 gate. So now the question is mass and volume of a natural soil sample. Okay, mass and volume of a natural soil sample is 2.1 kg. This is the mass of the soil sample, and 1 into 10 to the power minus of 3 meter cube. This is the volume. This is the mass of the solid sample. This is the volume of the solid sample. When fully dried means there is no water is there. Okay, when fully dried, the mass of the soil sample becomes 2.2 kg. Okay, only 2 kg without any change in volume. Without any change in volume means del V is equal to your 0. No change in volume. Then assuming a specific gravity of soil particle to be 2.5. Another thing is that 2.5 is the specific gravity of the soil sample, and specific gravity, this is basically a non-unit, or this is actually unitless parameter. Unitless parameter, and it doesn't have any dimension also. And water density of 1000 kg per meter cube, then the degree of saturation of natural soil sample. Okay, so in this case, if we just consider this to be a soil sample. Okay, soil sample. Now this soil sample, it is expected to get some solid particles, that is the soil, and some water is present there, and air is also present there. So if we just calculate to, if just we want to calculate the volume of total, then this total volume of the soil sample, that will include both the volume of the solid plus a volume of your water present or volume of air present. Okay, now in this case, when fully dried or fully saturated. Okay, when fully dried or fully saturated. When fully dried, first case, fully dried, then this volume of water is not there, volume of air is also there. Okay, fully dried, then volume of solid and volume of air is there. And if it is fully saturated, okay, if it is fully saturated, then what is that? All the volume of the air, that is fulfilled by, or that is filled by the water, presence of your water. So if it is fully dried, then volume of solid plus the volume of air, and if it is fully saturated, then volume of solid plus the volume of water is there. There will be no void space present. Okay, if it is fully saturated. And now it is giving, if it is fully dried, then the mass is 2 kg. So in this case, you can see the initial mass was 2.1 kg. Okay, and fully dried mass is 2.0 kg. That means in this case, okay, in this case, it is containing volume of solid plus of volume of water, isn't it? Some amount of water it is containing. That's why this 100 gram extra is happening here. And another thing is that in this case, if we consider the volume, in this case, volume and mass. Okay, air is massless, air has no mass. Okay, in the next slide I will just I will just tell about this thing, but in this case, just let finish the numerical. Okay, so if we just say that, what is the given parameter? Let us see. Given, that is the mass of the soil sample. Mass of the soil sample is equal to 2.1 kg. Okay, then volume of the soil sample. Volume of the soil sample is given to be 1 into 10 to the power minus 3, that is 10 to the power minus of 3 meter cube. Okay, 10 to the power minus of 3 meter cube. Let's just change it to centimeter cube. 10 to the power minus of 3. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, its cube. Okay, this is 10 to the power minus of 3 into this is 10 to the power 6, which is equal to 1000 centimeter cube. Okay, this is the volume of the soil after here, no doubt. Then when this soil sample is fully dried, what is the mass of water? Okay, when it is fully dried case. Okay, so mass of the dry sample is equal to 2 kg. So this 100 gram, if it is 2.1, then that is decreasing to 2.1 kg. Then the amount of the mass of water, the mass of water present is the mass of water present is how much? 2.1 kg minus of 2 kg is equal to 100 gram, isn't it? 100 gram, this is the mass of water. If this is the mass of water, then what will be the corresponding volume of this water? Okay, corresponding volume of water is equal to, we know density is equal to mass by volume. Okay, and if we have mass, we have density of water density is given, that is 1000 kg per meter cube. Okay, that is 1000 kg per meter cube. So we can calculate the volume. Then what will be the formula? Volume is equal to mass by density. What is the mass? Mass is equal to 100 gram. What is the volume? That is 1000 kg, that is the density. Okay, 1000 kg per meter cube. This is 1000 kg per meter cube. You have to change this kg per meter cube. You know that this 100 gram and this 1000 kg per meter cube is nothing but 1 gram per cc. Okay, this gram will cancel out. Then 100 centimeter cube, this is the volume of water. Okay, this is the corresponding volume of water. Okay, till now no doubt. Okay, so we just want to calculate the dry volume. Okay, when it is, okay, when it is fully dried. Okay, fully dried, in this case I just want to calculate the dry volume. The dry volume, are you getting my point na? The dry volume, in the sense, there is no water and air is also present, there is no water. Okay, so if it is the volume of corresponding volume of water present here, then what will be the dry volume associated with dry mass? What is the dry mass? This is 2 kg. Okay, that is the dry mass. Dry volume is equal to dry mass divided by density, and this density is your particle density, is equal, that is given to 2.5. So what is the dry mass? This is 2002 kg, that means 2000 gram. And what is the density? That is here 2.5. Okay, the specific gravity, density and specific gravity both are same in this case. Okay, so 2000 by 2.5, then that is the 800 centimeter cube. Now when it is fully dried, then dry mass is equal to your 2 kg, and mass of water present is your 100 gram, and the corresponding volume of water is equal to 100 centimeter cube. And this dry volume, in this case, this is only the volume of the solid only. Okay, this is dry volume. Dry volume means the volume of the only solid. In this case, the total volume, if you are calculating the volume of solid, volume of water plus the volume of air. In dry volume case, we are only calculating the volume of solid. Okay. So in this case, the volume of the sample is given 1000 centimeter cube. Dry volume we calculate to 800 centimeter cube. Then what is the volume? Okay, Then what is the volume of pores present here? Then volume of pores is equal to, this is actually the volume, 100 centimeter cube. This is, sorry, 1000 centimeter cube. This is the volume. This is the volume of total minus the volume of dry volume, that is your 800 centimeter cube, which is equal to 200 centimeter cube. This is the volume of pores. 200 centimeter cube, this is the volume of pores. Okay, we calculated the volume of pores to be 200 centimeter cube, and in this sample we have previously calculated that the volume of water present is 100 centimeter cube. Okay, and degree of saturation, what do you mean by degree of saturation? Degree of saturation is the volume of pore spaces occupied by a liquid, that is the saturation. If this sample is containing some pore spaces, if the pore spaces are filled by water or liquid, then we call that that is some amount of saturated. If all the volume, all the air masses or all the pores are fulfilled by a liquid, then we will tell that it is fully saturated. And in this case it is clear that the total volume is present, the volume of pores is 200 centimeter cube, but only 100 centimeter cube of water is present there, so it is not fully saturated. So what will be the degree of saturation? Here we will just calculate the degree of saturation. Okay, just let me change the color because it is red everywhere, red. Okay, so the degree of saturation, okay, is equal to volume of water, volume of water occupied, volume of water, no, simple, only volume of water divided by volume of pore spaces. Okay, and what is the volume of water here? That is your 100 centimeter cube. Okay, and what is the volume of pores present here, total pores? This is 200 centimeter cube, 200 centimeter cube, and degree of saturation is equal to 0.5. 100, this is 1 by 2, 1 by 2 will reduce to 0.5, and if we just want to make it into percentage, then we will have to multiply into 100, 0.5 into 100, that is equal to 50%. So this is our answer. Okay, this is our answer. So let us see, 50%, the degree of saturation is 50%. Okay, so in the next slide I will have to just explain something. Okay, so this is the soil. Oh, this is the soil sample. This is very important. You just mark these things, huh? This is the soil sample. Now we will consider some cases. Okay, now the volumetric part, the volume and the mass we will consider. In this case, the total volume, okay, the total volume in this case, what will be the volume of total? This total volume will constitute the volume of the solid plus the volume of your water plus the volume of your air, isn't it? Because you can see volume of solid is there, volume of water is also there, and volume of air is also there to calculate the total volume. In this case, this is the volume of water, this is the volume of solid, and this is the air. And another case, that means some pore spaces are present here, and these pore spaces, the total volume of your pore spaces, that will constitute your porosity. Okay, and this total volume of pores which are present here, they may be filled by water, or they may just contain nothing. Okay, only air. This volume of pores, they may either contain water or they may contain nothing, that means only air is present. So if no water is present, if no water is present or no liquid is present, then we will call it to be fully dried. Fully dried. So in this fully dried case, what will be the volume that will be constituting? in this case total volume will be the volume of the solid plus a volume of the air only, because no water or no liquid is present in fully dried case. Okay. Second case, fully saturated case. Fully saturated case. So in fully saturated case, the total volume will be constituted by the volume of solid plus a volume of water, because all the pore spaces they will be filled by your water. So there will be no volume of air in fully saturated case. Okay, so these are two ideal case, if it is fully dried and if it is fully saturated. But in nature we do not find this association. Okay, so there is possibility of a situation, the intermediate situation. Okay, intermediate situation, if it is not fully dried and if it is not fully saturated, let's say this is 30% saturated. If it is 30% saturated, that means 70% that is unsaturated or not saturated. And this 30% saturated by water, saturated of water, that means in this case the volume of air or the volume of pores that will be fulfilled by either your water, then that will indicate the degree of your saturation. So in this case the what in intermediate situation, there will be volume of solid, volume of air and volume of water. And you can see this volume of air or the pore spaces, the pore space can accommodate this air and water. Okay, that is the porosity. Porosity can be fulfilled by water and air. And if this porosity is all the volume of pores are not fully saturated with water, then we will tell them that it is some percentage saturated, or we have to calculate the degree of saturation. Okay, the degree of saturation, if it is fully saturated, the degree of saturation is equal to 1. If it is fully dried, the degree of saturation is equal to 0. Okay, it is not saturated with water, with respect to water. So in volumetric case, volume of air is there, volume of water is there, and volume of solid is there. But in case of mass, okay, then mass of air, which is nothing because air is massless, then mass of water, water has some mass, and mass of solid. So if we are just considering in a soil sample where air, water and soil solid, three phases are present. Okay, three phases are present, then in case of volumetric concept or volumetric calculation, we will have to consider three phases, because air has a volume, air has also volume, water has also volume, and the soil sample it has its own volume. But in case of mass consideration, when we are considering the mass, then we only consider two phases, that is the water if present and the soil sample, the mass of the soil sample, because air is massless, air is massless. Okay, and degree of saturation, okay, you can see this is the volume of solid and this is the volume of pore, this is the porosity, this is the total porosity, volume of pores. And all the pores are partially filled by water and some are unfulfilled. Okay, this is actually the volume of pores, this is the volume of pores. And this volume of pores, some amount of this volume of pores are fulfilled by water and some are not fulfilled, that means air is present in between. Okay, okay, these three cases, these are important. And some another thing I just want to add here, that in this case, okay, in this case some water content, there is one question many a times they ask, water content. Okay, this water content is related to your mass. Okay, saturation, saturation, Okay, saturation is related to your volume, porosity is related to your volume, water content or moisture content, these are related to your mass, porosity, saturation, these are related to volume. Okay, so always remember these things, and this is actually the fundamental. Okay, this is very important. Okay, and always remember this degree of saturation is always calculated on the porosity. Okay, degree of saturation, I just let me just write down. degree of saturation Degree of saturation is always calculated over the porosity. And all of you know that this porosity is the volume of pore spaces present to the total volume. So what is this porosity? Alpha is equal to volume of pores to the total volume. Okay, and remember volumetric form में we just use the volume of air, volume of water and volume of solid if we are considering three phases. But in case of hydrocarbon exploration or hydrocarbon industry, this porosity that may be fulfilled by your volume of air will be there, volume of water will be there, and volume of your hydrocarbon will be there. In this case, okay, saturation, water saturation and hydrocarbon saturation, then this situation is bit complicated. Okay, because when in a sedimentary formation, when porosity is there, then that pores can be fulfilled by, that can be fulfilled by air, that can be fulfilled by water, that can be fulfilled by brines, that can be fulfilled by your hydrocarbon also. Okay, so in this case they have to calculate the volume of your hydrocarbon present. Okay, so reducible saturation, irreducible saturation, there are some complicated things are there, but in our cases what actually happens now, question many a times they only ask only this three phase in soil sample. Okay, so I think in this case what is the answer? The answer is 50%. Okay, this is your 50%. Okay, so I hope this explanation is this explanation will help you understand these things in a better way. So thank you very much, and save our mother earth, this is our motto. Plant more trees, go green. Okay, and these are the phone, and if you any geology students are interested to join our paid group, they can contact to these numbers, they can put a mail to this mail id, or there will be a link tree given in the description box. By clicking on that, you will be getting access to all our social media platform, or even you can just go to in our YouTube channel, you just go to the about section, and at the bottom, okay, our social media platforms, the direct links are provided, and do visit our website for more information, and some geology textbooks are, like study materials are also there, you can have a look over that also. So thank you very much.